Welcome, 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 welcome to the next episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Mighty Vicious, here, of course, with Jamie James, the Love God.
Governors, how you doing?
Yep, and Cutaia, the rock star. What's going on, my guy?
Oh, not much. How's it going?
Just
Not
in with
you,
the
not
chill
used to the
vibe.
intros. Yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started because we are not the stars of this show. It is Cutaia. So,
Oh.
Cutaia, break it down for us. Tell us about yourself, where you come from, what brought you to dreams. Give us the whole spin.
Oh, okay. I guess what brought me to dreams was I was looking at dreams for a long time because I had been familiar with Little Big Planet, and I didn't do much with Little Big Planet. I wasn't heavy into it, but I made a couple levels in there and had a lot of fun with it, and then just kind of life got in the way and didn't really do as much in that. But when I saw that Dreams was coming out, I remember looking at everything they were saying you were going to be able to do in Dreams, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's not going to be as good as what they're saying. And like I was kind of just impressed with what they were saying it was going to do, but sort of skeptical. Uh, and unfortunately, because of that, I didn't really look into it as much as I should have. So I didn't really get into early access or any of that stuff. The day that it came out, though, I went out and I bought my little disc and took it home and have pretty much just uh, realized that, oh yeah, you can make just about everything that you want in Dreams, which was just amazing to me. Um, I've always been someone who likes creating stuff. Um, like as far as take music. I've been making music since I was a kid growing up. There was my first music recording experience was literally having two boom boxes and some chords from Radio Shack that I connected them all together and like built myself a little janky multi-track recorder where I could record on the one cassette, take that out, put it in the other boom box, play that, record a new track. And just ever since then, I've been making music. Eventually graduated to an actual like a Boss BR8, where I would make music in the back room of a cigarette store that I managed. um, and then just have continued, and now obviously it's very easy. You got DAWs, and you can just do it in your kitchen. And so having Dreams come out uh, really fuels all that just like creative energy to make not only music but anything. I also used to design little Mario levels on paper as a kid. So like Dreams is basically everything that I've always like wanted to do as a hobby or as I guess a profession if you're ever able to swing it, but and it's all just in this one little package. So it was perfect, obviously I was gonna start playing Dreams, and haven't really stopped.
So this is the like maybe it's because I never really wanted to make games. I was always more into movies, but it seems like it's the second time I've heard of the making Mario levels on paper. I've
Mm-hmm.
I actually pulled out my pen today because I was like, I'm gonna try this out, and I actually never got around to it because I've been doing so much video editing. But I have it set up, and I might do it on stream because it might be the beginning of me trying to actually do a game in Dreams. But
That'll be fun to
um,
watch.
but I guess is that how you start your process? Is just
I do still use a lot of paper when I am designing like a game for Dreams. I definitely draw out ideas, and they're real they're not good drawings. They're real basic sketches of like, okay, I maybe want a branching path here and this type of challenge here. And, I do a lot of that. Um, I do a lot of writing out spreadsheets as well. Like making spreadsheets to organize like variables and stuff like that. So
a very methodical process you do
yeah.
when sort of thinking of stuff.
Yeah. Well, it also gives you something to do when you're passing out at night and you're not necessarily playing dreams. You just pull out, you can still think of ideas and just have your little clipboard next to you and just fall asleep designing.
Huh. It's so different from the way I think of things. Just because like always like writing scripts and things for film, like I usually just think, and I'll think for maybe like 3 months, and then I'll just go in. Like I'll do like I kind of do it in my brain, but doing it on paper is probably the best way for me to do it as far as like making games. So I'll be trying that. But and speaking of film, you do have some short films.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't come up in your breakdown.
Yeah, I guess I've done a lot of stuff. It's been a long life of doing a lot of different things. But yeah, I had little cassette tape video, one of those little mini DV video cameras, and did a lot of little short films and stuff with that as well. And I mean, technically, I've also done the music videos for my music that I've released outside of Dreams. Like I've always shot and directed and come up with the ideas for that stuff too. So
Awesome.
I've always said that I'm really good at making mediocre everything. Like I don't necessarily make anything great in any of these categories, but I can do something with everything. Like
well, well, I mean, as far as from what I've seen, I could say I disagree with you.
Yeah,
However,
I would too.
yeah, because I mean, I understand the idea though, because I mean, all artists kind of feel that way, where it's just kind of like there's always just I do things, I do stuff. So I guess once you got into Dreams and you started messing around, like what did you jump into first? Was it music or was it?
The first thing I jumped into was straight into games, and that was Hops was basically my first actual project. I made like a little ancient temple get to the exit thing for a for the arcade community jam once, like very early on. But as far as sitting down and being like, okay, this is a project I'm gonna actually care about and like try and make something, I just went straight to Hops and basically just worked on that straight for a few months until that was done. The music, honestly, I want to say the first I made the music for Hops, which was like BGM kind of stuff, like all instrumental and kind of designed to be loops for video games and stuff. And I really like that soundtrack. But the first time that I decided to make music, like the kind of music that I make outside of Dreams, was actually one of All Stars Dream Sounds jams that he does every Monday. It was the Pollen Jam. So it was, take Pollen songs and do remixes, and I decided to try and remix that. And I wrote a Modern Lie, which is took a couple of the Pollen songs and tried to turn it into a song with vocals and whatnot. And that was the first actual song that I made in Dreams, and have continued making stuff in dreams, real music wise.
For hops, where did the inspiration come from with that? Because was it like, what you were drinking one night and you pulled out the old clipboard like you said before and just started making something, or was it kind of modeled after something like you always wanted to do, or drawings you've done? Or
I think inspiration just in general for hops is there's a lot obviously of like Nintendo 64 level sort of platforming design like in there. Just I don't even know if I really planned it that way, or I just think it just kind of happened. But as far as it was very stream of consciousness, that the design process for hops. And I was showing people the other night like some of my earliest uploads of hops, and like the whole first scene, like I basically designed that and then it was done, and then I moved on to the next. Hops himself, his design is like a complete accident. I was just trying to make a face one day, and I was looking at these blobs that I had made, and I was like, that kind of looks like a rabbit. Let me finish this out and make it a rabbit. And like he just happened to be a rabbit.
The face in the clouds technique. I'm familiar.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess the first thing I saw from you was the Scarecrow short.
Okay, Crops.
Yeah,
Crops, yeah.
And I think that was the first project I think I saw in dreams that kind of made me think to myself like, okay, it can be done. It can be done and well. And like I said, for me, I joined the community late. Like I got dreams and buckled down into my own world to try to create, and didn't really branch out, didn't speak with anyone, was just kind of like trying to take it all in. And while I was working, started to go and branch out and saw Crops, and I was just like, wow, it's really good. I just like that. Like, did you come up with the story completely, or was it like based off of anything for that? Or
so that came from DHM. When he was still doing when he was still leading the weekly challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
They that was around. It must have been close to Halloween, and it was Scarecrow was the theme for the week for their weekly challenge, was just Scarecrow. So I kind of just came up with with that from there. Just I was like, okay, I want to make something about a Scarecrow, and I always have this. I guess I can't really say. I was gonna say I always have this drive to try and make something as legit as I can. And I realize that's not always true, because sometimes I just like pull stuff out of my ass and make just absolute garbage for fun. There's plenty of that out there on the Dreamiverse from me too. But it's either or. It's either I'm gonna make the worst thing I can possibly make. Put it in the chat. Right? We made Whiplash VR the other day. And it's the dumbest thing you've ever seen in your life. It's garbage. I either do that, or I try and go all the way, and I say to myself, okay, I want to make something that like I feel is like real, like this is like a real short, it's a real game, it's a real song, like because I can be real hard on myself if I'm like not like living up to that as much as I can in my mind.
So like with Crops, did you do all the writing yourself, all the animation? Did you have any help with it at all, or was it just a complete solo project?
It's a lot of what I do is solo projects, and I think it is because of that like that control freak nature, where I'm simultaneously not willing to let go of like my ideas and and give up control of those. But at the same time, I'm also like insecure about like what I could add to a project if I'm collaborating. I've had very little experience actually collaborating in dreams, and some of that is because I'm always like, what I'm gonna screw this up. I'm gonna have bad ideas. I was with the Pixel Gorilla, and I tried to make something at one point for a jam, and I was the whole time I was just like terrified that like I would not contribute anything to it. And we didn't end up finishing it, but that was completely different reasons. But I don't know if that answered the question. Oh yeah, as far as like so Scruff goes. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time on projects and dreams just buckled down by myself, just working on things on my own, even to the point of like like all the assets in crops and hops and Alan the dog, like every asset in there is stuff that I made, like just because it's so hard for me to let go of control of things.
Has Dreams done anything to kind of alleviate that for you? Like, I mean, I know you say you still have trouble with it, but like, are you working through it? Like,
yeah, I'd like to say that it's helped. It's trying to, and there's definitely been the occasional opportunity to come up to work with someone, and I'm trying to little by little sort of work my way into those things, and
So
like do it.
you don't use any Dreamiverse assets at all in any of your creations? Is that
Not
purely because of the control thing as well, where you want everything to look a certain way, or?
I do use them in some creations, but like the big major ones that I've done, that tends to be, like right now I am working on Hops 2, and like I'm in that process of designing a lot of assets and getting those put together. So probably for Hops 2, yeah, it'll be the same way. It'll be just me working on my own because it's a big one. But then when I have been able to like let go for certain things, and you use a lot of Dreamiverse stuff for other things. Recently I've been doing a weekly project that is specifically about other people in the Dreamiverse making assets. Every week I do we call it Cutaia's Unexciting Asset Jam.
I love that name.
It's sometimes I wonder if it was the best name, just because people do tend to, they're like, oh well, I can't make anything exciting then for it because it's the unexciting asset jam. And the intention was just, we just saw Whiplash VR.
yeah.
And right now we're seeing the arcade jam that came out of the Unexciting Asset Jam. But basically what it is every week I have a theme, and we just get everyone together, and the reason it's the Unexciting Jam is that it's just, you don't have to feel pressured to make like a whole scene or anything flashy or anything amazing. Like our current theme is Music Fest for this week. And if someone wants, and if someone wants to make a metal barrier, something very simple, but something that may actually prove useful to the Dreamiverse, like we want it. We like make that and send it to us. And we put them all in a collection. And every Saturday I take all of those assets and I put them all together in a example scene to show like, hey, look at what you can make with all of this stuff that we've added to it. So like I'm very supportive of Dreamiverse assets and people using things that they didn't make. And some of the results have been just amazing that we've been able to put together with everyone's stuff. We've added like over 500 assets
Wow,
to the Dreamiverse in the last 9 weeks.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
I
that's extremely valuable for someone like me. As I was, it really no, it really is because a few times before I've talked about how for me I have that thing you have where I'm just like everything has to be this way, this specific way, but I don't have the time to actually do it all. But I act like I do.
The
So
time is necessary.
yeah. So
I'm
like
lucky. I got nothing but time.
so I'll be sitting here being like, working on stuff, and then I'll be like, oh man, I got to make that chair in dreams to put in the scene, recently I've started developing into the. Man, if you don't take your dumb butt and just go look up chair on dreams, like my thing is kind of I identify with you on the like wanting to control everything, but
Yeah.
I'm slowly breaking out into that. If there's somebody out there who literally got on dreams, it was like, yo, I've been wanting to make this one chair my entire life. They're going to make a better chair than you, no matter how it works. So it's like, yeah,
Did you
like
see-
all these.
Did you see Martin's chair?
Oh, God.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
well, that chair's too good to be in my seat. So,
It's the most beautiful chair I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I don't ever need to see another chair again.
No, that's it.
I
we're
look at
done.
chairs now and I'm like, get out of here.
We have
you're
we
ugly.
have officially peaked when it comes to chairs.
Yeah, this chair, garbage.
No, but
Yeah.
like seriously though, like with that jam idea though, like it really brings up a good topic that, when people are making something in dreams, they necessarily wouldn't want to make all the boring stuff first. People always want to make the stuff that's exciting and passionate, like the characters or whatever the case may be. But I
Yeah.
think that jam really encourages people to really look at the stuff that they necessarily don't want to make and, encourage them to do that as well.
Yeah. And I mean, we've had a lot of people who have been kind of like building up their skills through like joining the jam, and it's been really cool to see people's progress and like people who started out and they were like, hey, like this is neat, like I'm making things that I didn't think that I was gonna like try and make, and it's sort of pushing me to try new things, and it's just been really cool. Every week they amaze me with the stuff that they put together.
So had you used, and just because I'm trying to get into, you said you just kind of went in, and being that you're focused, it makes me look at you're focused on control. It makes me look back at like hops. Like, did you jump in and you were just like, logic, good, and you just blew through? Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
walking through with that BDE. I see you.
The logic. Well, the logic. I did the tutorials, and I hear people sometimes say that they don't recommend the tutorials. The tutorials were everything to me. Like I want, the first thing I did was go through every single tutorial, and that was such a strong foundation. I really think the Dreams tutorials are really well done. Like they give you a lot of situations that you're going to come across like in starting out. They don't necessarily give you the very complex stuff that you then have to start figuring out, and then go find people on Twitch and YouTube to teach you like very intricate things. But like as far as just doing what I was doing in hops, making enemies with death animations and making something that explodes or health, all that stuff, the tutorials covered every bit of that.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I personally have said that they're crap, but they are a different way than I like to learn.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
like for
and
me,
yeah.
like, and that's completely a personal problem. That's not a dreams problem. Like that's a kind of like, it's kind of like, when you go to school and you have to study for the test, and so you study everything, and then the moment the test is over, it's just out of your brain.
Yeah.
Like that's how the tutorials like work for me. Is like I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I see. And then the moment we go to the next step, I'm like, what did I do in that last step? It's just so it's like for me. for me, it's kind of just a more hands-on approach.
There's
And
always going to be that with learning
yeah,
anything this complex. I mean, it's impossible to come up with one system that could teach anyone
No.
all of dreams. And none of us know all of dreams yet anyways. Like every single one of us continues to learn things on a regular basis in dreams. So
yeah.
it's kind of,
I think the tutorials do a good job of sort of getting you into things from like a mass majority point of view, because obviously everybody learns completely different. So, it's really difficult to just create a base tutorial that's going to work for everybody. But I think they do the job great for the most part. But Dreams is really much a hands-on experience anyway. You just have to get in there, get in the deep end, and just try stuff and see what happens when you connect stuff together. And it's a real creational process. It's just just get in there and do it.
Yeah, and I personally like the logic portion of dreams. Like dreams has it's so many different types of games like at once, and like for me the logic portion is basically like a puzzle game. Like when you're trying to figure out the logic, it's all there. Like you figure out what all of the gadgets do, and then it's just a matter of like, just like you would do with any puzzle game. You're like, okay, I need this to happen. I'm here. I need this to happen first, and then this, and you just kind of like have to work through it. And like some of that is fun to figure it out and like just treat it like a fun little game of figuring it out in the first place. Like if you can do that, if you can look at logic like, hey, this is fun, how can I try and like put this puzzle together, then chances are you can probably figure some things out with it.
I wonder if anybody else who's bad at logic kind of I have these moments where because I think I'm learning through frustration, where it's just kind of like I don't learn while I'm trying to do it, but I'll try to rationalize how the logic works in my brain when I'm not on Dreams. So like, yeah, so I'll be like, okay, well, I saw this person use this like this. So would that mean that I'd have to use this and hook it to that? And like, I actually go through more, I guess, probably not learning, probably sabotaging myself, but it's like my learning process happens when I'm not on the game.
Do you ever have this happen? I had this happen, like Audie can attest to this. Throughout the making of Hops, there were a lot of times I was working on something at night and I'm like, this isn't working. This is never going to work. I go to sleep and then like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, wait. And I go straight to it. And like somehow just like overnight, it's like your brain thinks about it like while you're sleeping or something. And then suddenly you have an idea. And sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does.
Yes, I have. Like in my dream, this is how bad it is. In my dreams, I'm like, yeah, that's how logic works. And I've actually woken up inspired and then gone to dreams and been like, nope, you still suck. And then I just like, well, I woke up and I thought I had unlocked the secrets in my brain, and I was like, yes, this is how you do it. And then I went and tried, and I was like, yeah, nah, that's not.
Well, sometimes it works, I guess.
At some point, it'll start working. So it's just, I also have to, like, for me, even though I bring it up a lot as far as my failures in logic, like, that wasn't where I started out even focusing. Like I didn't even look really at logic in the beginning and spent all my time trying to get better at sculpting. And so, a lot of people have said, oh, I haven't even gotten to that part of Dreams yet. Or, I'll start. Someone said that they'll start logic in year 4. That's when they play.
Wow.
Wow.
they already have a timetable. It's like,
that's someone with a plan.
Yeah. It's like, I'll start in year 4.
I'd like to see their spreadsheets.
Yeah, they're probably intense. So yeah, like I talk about it a lot, but I'm still super excited to learn. I just honestly thought I would have picked logic up faster than I have, and so yeah, but it is what it is. We keep going. We keep
Yeah.
dreaming. I'm like a god tier Logix person in my dreams, but I just got to transfer that to dreams and it'll be all good. But so I think I've been hogging it, Jamie. Did you want to get to?
No, you carry on. I will segue my questions in once the categories change. Don't you worry.
Okay.
He's waiting.
Well, yeah, right. He's making plans.
I'm just seeing where the topics are going to go because it's a couple. So
Okay. Well, I was gonna go more into the music thing now,
all right, let's do it.
because listening to your. Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Um, sure. I mean, I'm 39.
Same age.
Oh.
Okay, well that explains the music to me then, because like I was saying before, and the reason that I wanted to play Gasoline to during the stream starting soon screen was because when I listened to it, I just heard like 90s rock. It was just this
Yeah.
I don't listen to a lot of
There's a lot of-
music now, like
Yeah, there's a lot of 90s influence in the stuff I do music wise.
yeah, so it vibed with me. It took me to a earlier, simpler time, and I was like, yeah, I remember that feeling, that strife. So, but did you find the transition? Like, did you work or did you have experience with other music programs before you came into Dreams, or did you just jump in and like I'm here now?
Yeah, I mean, because I've released music prior to Dreams, and like I have like a Spotify that has the stuff that I've released, and I've got like 100 CDs of my first album in the basement somewhere in a box languishing away, and it was that kind of. I think the first album I recorded on the no, I think I recorded all of that in Reason, a DAW on the PC, and that's basically what I've used. As far as how it translates to Dreams, there's obvious differences. There's I tend to be very like performance based when I'm recording music. I don't like I know a lot of people in a DAW, they're already drawing in notes, like particular if you're doing like electronic music and stuff like that. Like a lot of people start out that way. Like, I think Dead Mouse still does that. Like, but for me, I've always been much more comfortable just like, even if I suck at playing a riff on the piano, I'll always kind of like record it that way. And even if I have to like re-record it or adjust it and whatnot. So I've never been someone who like I don't know music theory. I can't just look at a staff and be like, oh, well, here's where the notes go. These need to be quarter notes. These need to be eighths. I just don't work that way. I just know what I want music to sound like, and I just try to play that as close to what it's in my head as possible. And that's harder to do in Dreams. I tend to perform with the controller in Dreams because it's the closest to what I'm used to. I've tried using the MIDI to OSC to use a MIDI controller but I just found that there was like this bit of latency with that like I could not make it work for me. So yeah, I that's the biggest difference, is having to perform with a controller. That's tougher to me. And then obviously recording actual instruments and vocals and stuff, there's limitations with Dreams with that come into play, as far as like the previously 15-second limit, and even now with the 30-second limit, and then not necessarily always being able to get in the same kind of, with a DAW on your computer, you can just do take after take, just loop it and just keep taking takes and really get into the groove. And your fifth take is going to be really good because you've been like going at it, and now you're like really feeling it or whatever. And there's always that roadblock with dreams where you're like, okay, yes, I understand. Yes, take away my one recording for the day. Just I accept the terms and conditions. Let me do another take. And so it's different. It's harder, but it's also it's still not it's fine. I haven't felt like it's been so much of a detriment that I can't make music in dreams.
Okay. Huh. So let me ask, like, with the guitar, do you use the dreams samples, or do you just play?
Most of the guitars are yeah, like most of the acoustic guitars are this guy here, a little Ibanez.
That is the wooden version of mine.
Really?
Yes.
There's just more similarities coming out of this interview.
I love Ibanez. Most of my guitars and stuff are Ibanez.
Okay, but does the guitar have a name?
No.
No. No.
Oh.
Look, I gotta remember like 10 different names. I can't do that. Who's that?
That's Billy Idol.
Billy Idol. Well, this is Billie Eilish.
No. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Actually, I mean, it's not
That's
that bad. That's on you. You know, I mean, I'll take it. I did ask for it. That's. I'll take my punishment. But okay, so how do you? The biggest trouble I've had trying to record with guitar into dreams is creating the perfect loop. Can you give me a little tip on what that on getting that right? Because it just doesn't seem like I can time it up right in dreams.
Okay, so it's a little easier now. When it was 15 seconds, 15 seconds was when I recorded Gasoline and Traffic Lights and Dollar Stores. That song is all instrumentation. It's banjo, mandolin, acoustic bass, the little doing thing.
The little doing thing, I love it.
Thing, harmonica and vocals. And every bit of that had to be recorded 15 seconds at a time. What I usually do is, so back then I would have my daughter Quinn, I'd actually have her help me, and I'd say, okay, like I'd give her the controller. I'd be like, okay, you're gonna start it here, and when it gets here, you're gonna drop the record thing down, and meanwhile I've got my headphones on and I'm just playing to it. The key for me to getting the loops right is, first off, lots of takes. Because half of them don't work together. And that's one of the things I had issues with the new limits, because the way I record things, my newest song, Taking Out the Trash, I had just electric guitars and vocals. I went through 75 recordings in one day just doing those two. Traffic Lights and Dollar Stores would have never happened with that limit, in at least not in the day that I recorded it last time. But I do that. I do like 5 takes of every snippet. And I also, I'll record just a couple seconds of, not even a couple seconds, just like a couple milliseconds of extra. So like, and then that way when I put them together, I can match up that last little, those split seconds of moving to the next chord.
Yeah.
And then just turn the fade out on, so it kind of naturally fades out into the next clip without you really noticing. It's hard and it sucks. That's kind of what I'm talking about as far as like how recording instruments, it's harder in dreams than on a computer or something.
I find that a good tip that I find is if you figure out the tempo that you're in with your recording before you record it, that can also help, because if you set your timeline to the right tempo, that can also help to line things up right with the playheads in the timeline.
Have you tried recording the full thing completely outside of dreams? Then someone said this, and I haven't tried it yet, but record like the full thing outside of dreams, make it play at like 500 times the speed so that it all fits into like this 1 30-second clip, and then use dreams to basically slow it down to play it out longer, like to put it back to its original speed.
I don't see how that could possibly, unless you're going for like some kind of interesting effect. Like if you're trying to get like a natural sound, I don't see how that could possibly work.
Reverse chipmunk technique.
Yeah, reverse chipmunk technique.
Yeah, I mean, it could be an interesting technique to do something fun and interesting and just see how it sounds and make a one song that's kind of cool. But I would never consider doing that for just every instrument I'm trying to record.
No, I'm not gonna lie. It's interesting to me that, like, Puda said that sounds kind of dumb, but I'm trying to figure out. But I'm trying to
yeah, a little bit.
No, I might no, and I honestly want to know why.
The reason why it'd be the same thing as like ultra compressing like a JPEG or something, and then trying to bring it back later. Like you lose data.
Okay.
Like there's only so much bit rate there. So by compressing it all down, like you're gonna lose information. Yeah.
I want to. I can't remember who said it. I know it was somebody in a chat in one of our earlier episodes, but I want to know what that sounded like, because the person said they do it every time.
Oh wow! Someone actually
I mean, if you ever remember who it was, let me know, because I want to hear it.
Well, I'm just gonna make it easier for you. Now that I know someone's doing this on the daily, I'm gonna get a 3-minute song, speed it up till it hits that 30-second limit, and then slow it down in dreams and see what it sounds like. I'm too intrigued not to now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I wanted to ask, because I've never tried it. Because I mean, but I heard someone say it, and I was like,
maybe I'm wrong, and this person is fucking brilliant, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
I mean, and like I said, I never used audio software before Dreams. Like everything I did was just, there's a mic and I play. That's it. And so I'm just learning everything as far as like Jamie knows. I've toyed with audio finally and making music in Dreams. And so I'm just trying to I'm just trying to take in everything people say around me, and it's like, is that a fix? Like, would that work?
With music, music is one of those things where it's like you follow the rules until you don't want to, and like some of the best things in music come out of saying, no, I'm going to do something weird here, and so there's nothing wrong with listening to every idea and trying it all out at least once, but yeah.
But that's the thing with Dreams, though. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. You can easily just do what you want, whatever works for you. But I think with this whole speeding it up and then slowing it down in Dreams, it's not going to sound the same.
Yeah, because I mean, Dreams in general with audio, like there's sometimes weird compression things and stuff, so it just sounds like it wouldn't work. Yeah. Nothing major, but like it just sounds like something that you'd lose a lot of data. I really do. If you do figure out who it is, like let me know, because I'd love to pick into that and check it out and see what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll try to remember, but for any app says weird ideas like opera and rap. Yo, that's a sick idea. I have heard it before. So if that's what you want to go for, do it. I love mixes like that personally. I love it. So anyway, yeah, just a thought. I mean, if System of a Down can do a cover of the Legend of Zelda theme, then I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I'm up for hearing anything. Like I'll see how it plays, and I'm a fan of metal, so I feel like it's the evolution of like classical music. And so like seeing people blend all those into things, I'm all about it. All about it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, obviously, I love trying different genres and stuff. Anytime you can do something, throw a different genre into something, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's good to get out of your comfort zone, and Dreams is a really comfortable place to do that because it's so easy to experiment with different ideas and different things that you wouldn't necessarily think of doing, and you can always end up finding out that you actually, have a passion for something else that you necessarily didn't think you would.
Yeah.
So just try everything, see what happens.
So, I guess the last thing for me and Lugatti, welcome. I guess is your band still active?
I don't have a band.
Okay, because there's the Kill Baron first, and I was listening to the music,
As
and
far
then
as okay, you just mean like am I still active in outside of Dreams? You mean?
yes, but
Okay.
also in a professional. In like professional quality, but I asked because
Yeah.
I was looking up the music for Kill Baron first, and I noticed there was a copyright, and I was like,
There's
wait,
one of them is a cover.
okay, because okay, well then that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, The Next Life, that's a song by Suede, and that's a cover. And I got the mechanical licenses and all that stuff, so it's all good. They get their half a penny from what I've made off of it. But yeah, I release everything like legit. Like that's all. They're all copyrighted songs by me, and then that one's a cover. And I did actually, my first album had a cover, a Prince cover. I did Nothing Compares to You as well, which that one was interesting because even though I had all the legal rights to do it, when Prince died, his family went like copyright crazy and like had everyone's covers taken off of Spotify for a while, even though like we were perfectly, like we had the licenses to do it. So that's an interesting thing too, like the way copyright works with music. Like sometimes the big guys can get what they want even if they shouldn't be able to.
Isn't that life in general?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's back. Someone bigger than me must have complained and got all the Prince covers back.
I'm surprised they could.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Well, because it's one thing if you're just like doing a cover on YouTube and you haven't gone through the motions, like it's one thing for them to get that taken down. But like all these people who like went and got mechanical licenses, they did what they're supposed to do. They're paying the Prince estate royalties for using the song. Like it's crazy that they would have gotten away with that.
So with the new edition of the audio upload feature for Dreams, do you feel that it's changed the way that you make music because you have this extra time for not only recordings but imports as well?
I haven't used it yet.
Oh. Well, that answers my question. Then it's no.
I haven't used it yet because I'm not sure how I think the audio import tool is a really good tool for certain things. I have worries about how it will end up being used in practice at times. In terms of ever since before they came out with when they were just talking about the fact that there was going to be an audio import tool, my biggest fear was I don't want to see everyone's SoundCloud back catalog suddenly ripped into the audio importer and uploaded to Dreams. I don't go to your SoundCloud in the first place for a reason. Don't fill Dreams up with it, you know? Like I don't want Dreams to be your promotional tool. You know, like I don't want Dreams to be another place where, hey, I've already got music I've made. Here's another place to promote myself. I want Dreams to be a place where I go on the Dreams and I see what people have made in Dreams. And I was happy to see that when the audio import tool came out, they laid out like, here's how we want you to use this. And they flat out said, we don't want you making stuff outside of Dreams and just plopping it onto the service. So I think it's really great for certain things. I think the thing I'm most excited about the import tool for is just recording lines for like a scene or like a game or something. I think I'll definitely use it for that. But as far as like recording anything else, recording singing, I already just plugged my mic into the PS. Like if I were to want to record the singing and the guitars and all of that on the computer and upload it, at that point I'm basically just making it on the computer because I need to be able to hear everything together. You know, if I'm singing, I need to have the music in the computer. So, well, why not? I should already have recorded the guitar in the computer. And as long as I'm doing that, I might as well, you know, so it kind of gets to a point for me where it's like, for what I want to do and what I want to do with music is record it, is to make music in Dreams. Because I already have outlets for making music outside of Dreams. So for me, it's like I might as well just continue plugging the mic in and doing that. The other day when I did my punk song, I plugged the mic into the PS4 and I set my amp up and I just aimed the mic at the amp and recorded electric guitars that way. And for me personally, I'll probably keep doing that.
Okay, interesting. I thought you would have been more towards using the audio importers. It's interesting to see that you prefer just going direct to the PlayStation instead. That's quite a interesting take.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just because I've seen what it's like to record music outside of Dreams, and I know, like, you know, well, I already have a million places to hear music that people made outside. Like I said, I could go to SoundCloud right now and see a million songs that people have made outside of Dreams.
Oh
so
no,
it's interesting for me to.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I would. Yeah, I suppose I would agree with you on that. That, you know, just uploading stuff directly into Dreams that you've previously made, it sort of takes away the whole made in Dreams aspect of it. That, you know.
And if other people want to record their vocals in a DAW and upload them to Dreams through the tool, like, I totally get that. I can see the draw of that. You know, and I'm not gonna hold that against them like I would someone just wholesale putting an entire song in the Dreams. But it's just maybe not how I want to do it. I guess I find it much more satisfying to just be on Dreams and just be putting it right in there, which is why I personally hate the audio recording limit.
But like, wouldn't you prefer to record your instruments into a DAW system so you've got higher clarity, and then use the audio uploader to get like better quality recordings into Dreams?
I mean, and then at that point, I'm having to use, like, I don't know, like, I think there's a lot of things in the DAW, like you're getting all your VSTs and stuff, and using those at that point. And if I'm trying to follow the rules they laid out, and not use stuff like that, not use patches and stuff that I don't have like the right to use in certain ways, then I might as well just not even do it. I don't know. I don't know. I guess, yeah. What Audie's saying, I guess in that sense, I'm a little bit of a purist as far as recording into Dreams goes. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
And I know I'm not in the majority with that necessarily. There's a lot of we know that for a fact when it came to when the audio import was first coming out, and there was a lot of people who were just like, why not just do this? Why not do that? Like, and I'm like, no, it's just not how I want to do it.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm 7. You got to go away.
No, but that's fine. I mean, you've got to do things the way that you're comfortable doing them. Otherwise, that takes away from your creational process, and then it's no longer your thing.
Yeah. I think I would just hope that, like, when other people are using the audio importer, that they're using it with the thing that I would love to see is that people are using it with the thought in mind of, this is a tool to make things easier, but I still want this to be as dreams as possible, versus like, I'm going to record this into here, not because it's easier, but because here I can turn on auto tune and get all of my, that's the stuff that is going to happen. Like, we know it's going to happen. It is happening. Just like there's always going to be Wario's in Dreams. Like, there's only so much you can do about everyone around you. Like, and you gotta deal with it, I guess. But like, if you're just asking me, like, my ideal world, it would be that people try and keep things as pure as possible that they're putting into Dreams. And as long as there's that intent of like, hey, I want to make stuff in Dreams, let's use Dreams, but this is going to help me do that, then go for it. Go nuts.
Yeah, you see, for me, like, what I would mainly be using, and I've toyed around with the importer, but I haven't officially used it in any of the stuff that I'm producing. But the main thing I will probably be using the importer for is for piano, because I have an electric keyboard, and I always find it easier to physically play what I'm trying to play as opposed to write it in MIDI notes. So, like, when the audio import feature come out, I thought that's the perfect way to do it. I can just plug my keyboard directly into the DAW system, because, as you said, MIDI to OSC has terrible latency. And by the time that you've done some, if you do like some fast playing, it doesn't kind of read it properly, and then you've got to go and change it all anyway. So, like, I will probably end up using it in a sense of plugging my keyboard directly into my DAW, recording it there, and then transferring that directly into Dreams. So, but that's probably how I would do it, because in an ideal world, I'd love to just be able to plug my keyboard directly into the PlayStation and do it that way. And this seems the most easiest way of doing that.
If there was just one MIDI controller that worked with the PlayStation, I would pay so much money for it. Just give it to me.
I know. It would be great.
There's even been times I've tried just, plugging in a keyboard into it because that technically works, but it's just, it's not the same.
Even if they just took on MIDI to OSC as an official feature and just, like, maintained it and got it working to the point where you've got the minimum amount of latency. I mean, you're always going to have latency with MIDI to OSC because it's over the network, but if they just took that on as a feature, it'd be so good.
Well,
the other thing, real quick, as long as we're still on that, the other thing that I love the audio importer for is Foley. Like Bella and Keldbjones, they've both been doing like lots of like, hey, now that we have the audio importer, let's add sound effects to Dreams, because sound effects in Dreams are another like really good like tool that, like, just once they're on Dreams, like everyone can use those. And that's another thing that absolutely love the importer for. I hope it leads to, more people just going out with their little handheld recorders and just getting sound effects for people, because those are fun too.
And more instruments as well.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people make some really interesting instruments by just, like you said, just going around with a recording, recording something and then turning it into an instrument. And, we can see so many more instruments coming to Dreams that way. And that's also a really cool feature.
One of the first things Kel did with the audio importer was make like a little toy piano instrument out using it. And stuff like that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess one question I had from the last 20 minutes was I want to make sure I understand your audio limit stance. So you agree with the importer rule, but are you saying that within Dreams having an audio limit is like you don't like that, or?
My beef with the limit, I am aware, is a very me issue, and it's because of things like the way that I record in the Dreams is that I do lots of takes of things. That perfectionism that I like, that stops me from being productive all the time. It leads to me recording 5 takes of everything to like make sure that I'm getting the one that like I like the most. And so what can happen is, if I have a song with 2 verses, 2 choruses, a bridge, and another third chorus, that's 6 sections that I'm going to record 5 times each. That's 30. If I'm on a good day, that's 30 imports that I've just used just for the vocals. If I have multiple instruments, for me, I actually can hit that limit in a day, and then I just have to be like, well, guess I'll just stop the groove and get back to this tomorrow, and hope that. And another thing for me, there's no if I'm like in that mood where I'm like, hey, I'm ready to record, like I'm feeling good about things, like I need to use that. There's no guarantee that the next day I'm gonna feel as good about it. I might go there the next day, start singing, hate it, and just end up in a block. So
just wrap it up.
for me, what sucks about it is that like I'm being dinged for uploads that I haven't uploaded, because this all happens before I save this to their servers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to record those and get them into the timeline so that I can hear them together and piece them together and figure out which takes I like the best. And in order to do that, I have to use uploads that are still just sitting on my PlayStation. They've never been sent to their servers. They're not taking up their space. So I just wish that there was a way to get my upload back if I delete it when it hasn't been uploaded. That's all. And it's a very specific complaint that I know a lot of people who are more efficient at recording stuff who do just get in there and do one take and fuck, we're done. If you can do that, then you're never going to run up against it. And you probably think that I'm crazy for thinking that 150 is not enough in a day. I'm well aware that that's a very me specific complaint, but I'm sure there's got to be at least a couple other people.
Yeah, there probably are. Probably are.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, this feature is pretty much brand new, and I think as we start to comment on this feature and how we think it can be improved while still keeping it to dream safe, then, if you will, I'm sure it's going to be updated and changed as time goes on. So hopefully we start to see more features.
And that's why it's good to just let them know, hey,
yeah, absolutely.
Here's a worry I have about this, even if it's just a worry. Like they'll keep it in mind. I mean, they are good at listening and keeping tabs on, okay, well, how are things going? So we won't always get our way, but there's nothing wrong with as long as you're not being an asshole about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with putting out there your opinions on how things could be made better, even if it is just for yourself.
No, I completely
Yeah.
agree. And of all people, Media Molecule really do listen, and they encourage you to draw your feedback. So it only helps to improve it going forward. So absolutely, I totally agree with you.
All right. Well, I guess unless you have more specific questions you wish to ask Jamie, I wanted to go into pretty much the banter of the week on on Twitter. Starting with the leak that you made me aware of earlier in the week, where we see that there's a slated Dreams Plus.
Mm.
I'm very excited about the prospect of an adults only Dreams. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. There's going to be so much porn. It's going to be amazing.
So
that's what it is, right?
I mean, we don't know. We don't know. It might be the Dreams 18 plus. It might be,
18 plus. Exactly.
Maybe to follow in suit with the way Sony's been marketing things. Maybe they were just trying to give us a heads up on Nintendo's new Dreams clone. But but we'll get.
I wouldn't call it a clone. That's a bit rich.
It's when I say clone, I mean in genre, not in actual style, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that
we certainly will.
We'll get to that a little bit later. I've heard a lot of people, like, everyone seems like they would love it, except for the few people who are like, please God no, you're gonna split the community. Little Big Planet 2, 3 all over again.
I take it that when you say that, does that mean that the general consensus is that were there to be a Dreams Plus on the horizon, that would be the PS5 version? Is that what?
Yes. That's what people take it to mean. I mean, we know nothing other than a name. So
I'm skeptical in general of the leak.
The only reason I'm not, because Jamie, what did I say to you the moment you sent it my way? What was my response?
Who leaked it?
Exactly. So whenever I hear any type of leak, I always, because you can track people now. I mean, that's social networking. You can track everything they've done. And basically, I told him to send me the tweet, and then I was like, all right, well, now I'm going to look up this dude and see how reliable he is. Or do that, whatever, see where they're sitting. And this specific leaker is actually pretty damn accurate. And by pretty damn accurate, I mean calling games like years out before they're ever announced. So that's the only reason I'm speaking about it, is because from what I've looked at, look at my sausage. I have to give it for the fans. I have to give it for the fans. Yeah, if you haven't, Cutaia, if you haven't seen that, it's the fruit salad thing that Mr. Wushia Kermittis. Okay,
it's one of my favorites. I love that.
Just making sure. So
I watch it at least once a week.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I looked it up, and this person has called quite a few things, and in super advanced, like not just they said it and it came out and it was half wrong, like a week later, like years. So I was like, okay, so now I'll talk about this, because this person I say semi because you never know, but like from what I can find, they're pretty dead on. Do I think that might have been maybe before we all had to stay inside for a year and a half? Maybe they had early lane, so it might not be that way. Dreams 18 plus, we're calling it now. And yeah, I just I think it's interesting because I'm wondering whether or not it's something that has to happen in order for some of the upgrades that we've wanted that have been on the Trello for so long. I'm wondering if it's things that need to be like you need the PS5 if it is PS5 exclusive to be able to pull off some of them. Or if it's just that big update that we've all been, waiting for, because we all know that there's a huge update coming. It's just a matter of when and how far they were set back. But I just wanted to know your impressions of it. Is it just it's probably not real, whatever, until it is real?
That's my initial sense of the whole thing is that I'm a skeptic at heart, honestly, a lot of the time, and I'm fairly skeptical about this leak. It's been fun to think about and think about what it could mean, and there's it's such a, even if it were real, it's so vague that it could mean anything, and I think that happens a lot. Like we get into that speculation mode where everyone's got their own idea of what it could mean, and I'm very curious. Like, what's the date that's supposed to? Was it?
Wasn't like July something?
Yeah, July.
Like end of July, I believe it was. Something
and
like the 27th or something.
Let me make sure I remember. So the leak basically was a list of things that are to be announced, supposedly, on the next State of Play.
The State of Play information came out later. The original leak was just, hey, this is what I have in a list.
Oh, so it's literally just release dates.
Yeah, just release dates. And then someone else came out, and I first heard it from the Dreams community that was like, this is supposed to be on the next State of Play. So I don't attach that to the same leak. Like, the leak is just dates. So the idea that there could be an update for Dreams in 2 months' time, I could buy it. That's
Here's my gripe with it. So let's just say that this is legitimate and Dreams Plus is the PS5 version of Dreams and it's coming out in July. I have a problem with that. And my problem being is they could have not picked a worse time to start promoting Dreams when they bring out a brand new version on a console you cannot buy. That's just so stupid. Like, literally, there is no PS5s. When there is a batch of PS5s come out, like, they're gone in seconds. And now, all of a sudden, is Sony going to actually do their job and do some marketing for Dreams because there's a brand new version for their brand new system, but yet nobody can buy it and get onto it? That's my main issue with it. Is if that's the case, that's really annoying.
I mean, it just follows suit to me. I mean, and I'm not trying to be
stupid.
No, because isn't the one that would be in control of this. It would be Sony. And this is why when we get into our next topic, I know my fans, y'all know who I'm talking about. They're going to come out and be like, "Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's so negative." And but that's why when we get into the next topic, I guess I'll explain more if you're unfamiliar with the show. Like, I know there's a plan as far as is concerned, but then there's Sony. And Sony, while I love the PlayStation 4 and 5 and 3 as well, with that weird, funky architecture, I love it all. But from the nobody seats, which is where I sit, the person with no power and no real say over anything, with just his opinions, I feel like Sony has been dropping the ball on marketing since before the pandemic. Like, they didn't really have to market much for the PS5 because everybody knew they were going to get one because of how good the gen of PS4 was. But yeah, like, like, they're running into it now, and it's starting to come back for people. Like, it's starting to come back on them currently. Yeah. But
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
look, I'll just, I kind of don't think it's gonna pan out to be true. But let's just like if I just say, okay, let's accept that it's true.
All right.
I agree. I agree that it wouldn't be a good time for it. Um, I don't know when the good time will be, but it certainly doesn't feel like it's the best time for it.
The
See,
best time for it will be when they're actually on the shelves and someone can just walk in and buy one.
Yeah, because the biggest problem with, I mean, whether I, I I see a lot in the chat about how yeah, obviously, Dreams is going to be, it's going to need a PS5 upgrade at one
Yeah,
point.
that's just inevitable.
It's going to happen. We know it. It's not even an argument about that. But like as far as timing is going to be important because you don't want to have it be Dreams divide. You want it to be a natural transition, and they're in a tough situation with it because I don't know how we can figure out when that time's going to be.
I see. That's the thing. I understand the sentiment. I don't agree with that. Or I don't agree with where Jamie stated this. Like, I don't think. How would I put this? Like, I understand that you don't want to push when it's not available. But at the same time, they haven't pushed Dreams at all.
No, yeah.
So the idea of like, I don't think they'd push Dreams Plus per se. I think it would just kind of be like a, hey, remember this? And it's Dreams. Like, I don't even think it would be marketed that way. But either way, I get what you're saying. I still have my main worry that Dreams is just like, but you know what? Let's walk it right into the next topic. Let's walk it right into the next topic because I'm about to go into it anyway. So Nintendo came out, dropped a trailer for Game Garage video game maker or whatever, and it's basically their version of Dreams on Nintendo, and good for them. Like, no, I'm not. The hate's not palpable until I start talking about like the history of Nintendo. I mean, as far as where they stand now, good job. Because I mean, sure, do it. I'm not like, no, this is only something Media Molecule can do, and that's not my stance. But the first thought I had was, watch this be more popular than Dreams just off of the fact that it's Nintendo and they'll market it. And that put me in a sour spot that I quickly got over because it was like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm not buying Nintendo Switch and I have Dreams and Dreams is everything I need, so whatever. But there's like we talked about with MC Alchemist last week, where it's more so this feel like I want Dreams, like Dreams is a success. Anybody in this chat is going to be like, Dreams is a success. We know how great it is. We know that, or I feel like we know that, like most of us feel that more people should know how great it is. And I always have this thing where, like I said, I have a friend who played all of the Little Big Planets and had no idea Dreams existed or what it was. And that just, every time I think about it, it just gets to me. And so, like, yeah, that was my first thought. And so then couple that with the Dreams Plus, and it's just like, if that's the time, like, even if the time is wrong, if that's the time where we could get a final, at least like initial push, then I agree with your stance. But at the same time, I'm like, please God, Sony, just put Dreams on something, please. Can you just please do it? Can you do it, please? Like, because I mean, all of us know it's great. MM has been winning awards like for years. now. Like other studios have played Dreams and are like, wow, what if like that? What y'all are doing is insane. But I still feel like amongst gamers, like people don't know what Dreams is, what it can do, and how many uses it has, not just as an archive of video games. Like, and so that little point of, man, I bet you Nintendo's gonna push this, and it'll like, and even if it did, I guess it wouldn't matter. But it just, I want more people. I want more people.
Mm.
I don't want to. I'm gonna have to read the comments anyway online. But the fact that certain people think Dreams is like was a flop. Like I've had a conversation with someone online where I was telling them about Dreams, and they were like, "Yeah, but I heard that game flopped like really hard. Like nobody plays it." And I'm like, "Bruh, that's wrong." But the fact that he has that thought means he's not the only one.
Mm.
And so yeah, I digress. Y'all take it from here.
So my thoughts with this whole game garage thing is that I think it's a good thing. For one, it's definitely within sort of the remit of what Nintendo does. I mean, like with Labo and all the other stuff they do, they're very experimental as a company anyway. So, this kind of suits what they're developing for Switch anyway. But I think and I've only seen the trailer and some screenshots from different websites, so I can't really say until I actually play it, which I'm going to. But I think it looks very simplistic in regards to what it can do. It pretty much looks like pre-made assets. I mean, you can make like pixel art or something in a tiny 8x8 square, but it doesn't seem like you can actually do any sculpting or anything. It's pretty much logic-based programming for pre-made assets. So it's going to be very limited as to what it can actually do. And if that's the case, I think it's just going to feed people the need for something better. And they're going to find out Dreams through Nintendo Garage and move to Dreams because they realize, okay, this is good, but clearly this is better. And that's my hopes for what this will do. And I hope it's successful because it's clearly targeted for a much younger audience. I mean, that's evident from the way that it's been drawn up and the style that they've gone for. It's to try and get people into programming, which is a good idea. But I think the whole game aspect of it is going to be so simplistic that people are just going to need more. And I'm hoping that's where Dreams can come in and sort of bring them on board for something more expansive.
So you're saying Game Builder Garage is the new Dreams tutorial?
Gateway Garage is going to be the gateway. It's going to be the gateway drug for Dreams.
Yeah,
That's what it's going to be.
When you were talking about it being limited, like my first thought when I was looking at it was like, okay, it is this. I mean, from everything we know about Nintendo, you can't even play a damn game with your friend unless you go and get their social security number. Like, as far as like assets in a game on a Nintendo system, it's not going to be the same. There's not going to be community assets.
We already know that there's going to be no dream surfing on this title. You've got to share your game code or whatever it is in order for someone to play it. So there is the ability to share your creations, but it's in a very limited way. You just have to share that code. There is no UI. You can just search like dream surfing to
is that necessarily going to be true? Because I mean, I feel like, and maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I feel like when we were playing Mario Maker, there was modes where you could just play people's levels, and I remember that because there were so many garbage levels that it was giving me.
But there was a menu though where you could literally just look at them, and from this, I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I know of the game, they say you can share your creations via a game code, and if that is literally it, then the whole sharing your games thing is just terrible because you don't have that central place where everything is there, like the library of games that people have created.
Nintendo's desire to be child safe has always limited how good their online can be.
And if it is all pre-made assets and you can't create your own assets, then everything is just going to be a remix of a remix of a remix of a remix, and nothing's going to look unique on it anyway. So I think it's just going to really feed that passion once they've had a taste for game creation on a console, and they're like, yeah, but it's just not enough. I think people will start to search for Dreams, even though they might not know what it is, but I think it will inevitably lead them to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a cool thing. Like, I don't really look at it much as like a competitor.
No,
Like,
definitely not.
I think
No.
it's a really neat thing for kids who don't even, there's so many kids out there that don't even have, and I don't want to frame it as a game for kids, because I know that for a fact that there are adults who are excited to play it too, and there's going to be adults playing it, and like, um, I guess I shouldn't say it that way, but there are lots of people, and many of them are kids, that maybe don't have a PlayStation at all. They have a Switch, and this is going to be like, I'm all for people learning more about game design, and
Oh
even
yeah.
just logic in general, just like having that fun of like putting something together, and that'll be neat.
So yeah, I mean, my like I said, no hate to them for making it. Like, good on them. Like, nobody has a monopoly on it. My only point of contention is not even with Nintendo and this game. It's with the idea of something like, for instance, did literally Blu-ray was the first, how would you put it? Blu-ray was the first format Sony ever made that actually won. Like, because everybody comes out, whether it's cassette, 8-track, vinyl. Like, there's always been a competition between what's going to be adopted, and Sony lost every single one of those until Blu-ray.
Would you consider PlayStation as having lost to N64?
No.
No,
I think
way.
that's when I say format, I meant more like media format, not hardware necessarily.
Okay.
But no, I believe that's when the game market overall got better, because there was kind of this niche for everybody, and it kind of still exists. It just kind of evolved in an ugly way into like the console wars. But it went the wrong way. But that initial like, PlayStation, has something for everyone. Nintendo has. Did you love Nintendo growing up? Do you want to share that with your family? We're still here. And, Xbox is like, yeah, we glow green. And, Halo, first-person shooters.
Did you say it glows?
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh,
It doesn't.
I was about to switch.
It does what? It does glow red sometimes, but yeah, and so it's just one of those things where it's like, just lately I've been paying a lot of attention to marketing, like in the past 2 years, and looking at everything from algorithms to basically the whole structure that's set up in marketing through everything, including social media. And like, that's why I seem to harp on Sony a lot when it comes to the marketing. And it's because the little things I notice where it's like, I love to believe that someone would get this for their child on Nintendo, and then that child being like, hey, is there something better? I love that idea. Where it's like you grow up into Dreams Plus by that time, when 18 plus. But I also have this thing where it's like, that's also kind of assuming that at some point people will start knowing that it exists. As we talked about last week, the general masses, like, we know I've spent $300, actually $300 plus, telling people about Dreams and buying copies for people. to help grow the Dreamiverse. Like that, because I love dreams that much. Where it's just like, it's kind of like I hand it out kind of like that playlist that you're like, yo, you got to listen to this playlist I put together. Well, you got to hear these artists. Like, that's how I hand out dreams. So, like, I'm spending money out here for dreams because I believe in it. And so when I feel like, when I want to see it, have you ever had a friend that pushes you to do something that you say you want to do? Like, you made
yeah, but we
like,
were in college and what?
What I never mind what I was saying. Tell the story.
No.
No, I'm just saying. No, it's just like I annoy people. I know y'all know, but I annoy people because, like, if a friend of mine, I'm the super like, you know, if someone says, yo, I want to do this, then I'm, you know, a lot of people say they want to do things, but when someone's like, I want to be a singer, and they sing, and it's like, you know, I want to go sing at a lounge or something, I'm like, yo, let's go look for lounges then. Let's get you on a stage. I'm that guy that immediately takes what that person says, and I'm like, we're going to get that for you. That we're going to get it now. And so, like, and usually that's a little too much for a lot of people. They'll be like, you know, hey, I said I want to do it, you know, at some point, man. Like, and I'm just like, okay, well, you know, when you want to do it, let me know. I'm gonna get you there, bro. And like, that's just my personality, because I have a lot of things I want and I'm working towards them, but I know how helpful it can be. And anyone who has ever tried to build something in dreams that's a little outside of your scope, you know it too. It's really great to have somebody step in and be like, I can do that. You having trouble with that little bit of logic? Let me take a crack. You know, it just that helps. So it's just like, yeah, like, I'm super supporter. But the other side of that, which is why I take everything that I say as far as Sony goes, it's kind of a personal problem. You'll hear me do that a lot. Like, that's a personal problem, how I feel their marketing is going. But I've also seen a lot of people agree with me on it. So I'm just like, well, then maybe there is a problem. But, you know, we have Tom next week. So while I ruin our chances of getting any more Media Molecule members on the podcast, I'll be attacking full for no. But yeah, so it's just like, I want to see Dreams do great, and the only thing I see in the way of that right now, because the product is fabulous. The Dreams is, as I've told y'all many times before, the greatest game ever made, in my opinion. I'll tack on the "in my opinion" on there, because it's everything that I said I wanted. Like, I was sitting there when people were coming out, you know, back in Xbox 360 times and Xbox One, people started putting in Forge mode and putting in all these things where, you know, you'd get a taste of the engine. And I'm like, yo, why don't they just sell the engine? Like, so why don't they just give people the engine that they use to make their game and just let people play? Like, and I complained about it for like a decade and a half, and then Media Molecule did it. So there is nothing but undying love and devotion. But that's also why, you know, I try to hold it back when I talk, because some, you know, I understand I speak in absolutes a lot, or at least my tone says absolutes, even though I'm not trying to.
I kind of go the opposite as far as like thinking about the future of Dreams goes. I sort of just being, you know, I don't know if I'm cynical or what, but I just kind of I don't know what's going to happen, and I kind of don't know what they can do or what they should be doing, and I kind of just, in one sense, I just sort of come along for the ride. As long as Dreams is going, and I hope that it goes for a long time, and I hope it grows and and becomes this glorious thing that everyone can't wait to be a part of. As much as I want all that to happen, and if it does, I'm here and hanging out and being on, just enjoying the ride. I don't know what's going to happen, and it could go the other way, and I hope it doesn't. I I don't know if it's just the cynic in me that's like, I'm just like, I better enjoy this while it lasts.
No, I think that's a healthier way to be. I do. I think that's a healthier way to be. Either like I just don't have a choice. Yeah, I don't have a choice because that's not the way my brain works. Like I said, the over supportive friend. Like I'm the guy that's gonna be like, okay, I like where we are now, but where can we go? That's how far can we go? Is the sky the limit, or is limit the sky? How are we going? How are we going? And that's just how my mind works. I always have to analyze everything and critique everything, and it transitions into my own work. So nobody's free. I also haunt myself. So this is this is just the way it is. It's the way it is. But Nivy, I'm trying to get Nivy to that making things okay. So he says, for me, Dreams has a big problem: individualism versus collectivism, and making things alone or working in collaboration or teams. Feel free to elaborate just a bit more. Like, because I would actually be interested in talking with you about that, maybe on a solo imp, give you 15 minutes to blow it out. So, but also, for those that aren't a part of the of our Discord, we have a section up right now. So if you have questions for Tom Dent next week, we have a place where you can put them so that we can send it to them beforehand, so we can get away from some of those, the many questions people are going to ask that are going to be like, I can't talk about that right now. Because everybody has questions. We have questions that we know he can't talk about. So, yeah, I already put that. Put that link in there. See, why you trying? No, I'm just playing this. So, when's Dreams 2 coming out? Oh God, he's.
Well, that's what Dreams Plus is going to be if it is a PS5 version.
Yeah, I don't see a Dreams 2. I just see expansion on what's there.
Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be a Dreams 2. I think it's just going to be Dreams, just altogether. It's just going to continuously be updated and just made better.
Yeah, if having just a PS5 version has the potential to split communities, like want to see what Dreams 2 would do.
Yeah.
I mean, the World of Warcraft knows that. That's why they've been going on with the same thing for
just
decades,
keep adding expansion packs.
Because World of Warcraft 2 was gonna fuck up their whole world if they tried that. Like there's certain things you can do to keep something going, keep it moving, keep it getting better and better over time, advancing with the times. But you got to be careful with how you approach that when you come to something that the community aspect is so important to it.
I mean, no matter what you do, no matter what they do, there is going to be that element of splitting the community. Whether they do it now with Dreams Plus in July, if that's a thing, or whether they decide to leave it 2 years until the PS5 has had time to grow and people to migrate over, you're still going to have that window where you're going to split the community. And a perfect example of this is with VR support for Dreams. People was worrying that it was going to split the community. There's only creations now that can only be played with a VR headset, and I don't have a VR headset, so I can't play it. So now there's this whole other thing I need to get. And that died down pretty quickly. And I think that with the PS5 version of Dreams, they would just have to do it where, like, these creations will only be playable on PS5, and if you want to play these, you're going to have to get a PS5. And that's just the way it's going to have to be. But I think right now is just the wrong time to do it. I just wish
if it's about to be done.
if it's about to be done. But
Okay.
you know, we've been expecting a huge update, and it is possible. You know, it's definitely not off the cards that this can happen in July. And if it is happening, it's Sony that's going to be pushing it. It's Sony that's probably told you know, we want a PS5 version for Dreams. So that makes me think, if Sony is the ones asking for a PS5 version of Dreams, are they going to start pushing it? And if they are, why are they doing it when there's no consoles? It's a stupid idea. Trying to wait till you have the thing to sell. You know, like, look at this brand new version of Dreams Plus, exclusive to the PS5, but no PS5s are available for sale. It's just stupid.
Now, do you have any? Are you open to the possibility that were there to be a Dreams Plus, that it could be something different than that? Like, are there?
Way?
Well, you know, like there's lots of people with having different ideas of what Dreams Plus could mean. Like, I've heard people say, well, maybe it means the multiplayer patch is coming out or whatever. Like, have you been open to any other interpretations of what it could mean, or are you basically like, if Dreams Plus is real, it's PS5?
Yes, purely because of the name Dreams Plus.
Okay.
Because I don't think they're going to just rename Dreams purely for the multiplayer update. Like, I just don't see the need to change the name. The fact that the name is changed implies that it's something different.
I also don't think it's a good name, by the way.
No,
it's real. I really wish they would have picked something different.
I don't think they needed to rename it at all. It's just Dreams PS5. You know,
yeah.
It's like with all these other games that's been patched for PS5. You know, they haven't called God of War Plus, or, you know, whatever the case may be. They've just patched it for PS5, and admittedly this will have more features, so the Plus kind of makes sense. But then you're differentiating your platform as two separate entities when it's not. It's just one version has more features because you have better hardware.
Well, Mink, I just want to jump in here and say that if Dreams Plus is a battle pass, I'll buy it. The Dreams Battle Pass, it sounds amazing. Even if it's nothing. It's just, yo, you got that Dreams Battle Pass? Like, yeah, I'll take it.
Dreams Plus is the name of the Dreams microtransaction store, where you can buy pre-made Ratchet and Clanks to put into your Dreams.
Actually, wait a minute. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to this.
I don't ever to monetize it, that's something that I could see being a possibility.
Yeah, like, I mean,
because I think people would go for that.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Would this be Media Molecule creations that you can purchase, or would it be the ability for users to create in-app purchases?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just said correct, but I'm making this up as I go. But yeah, like I could see something like that. Like, if they were like, "Hey, look, we got someone from Insomniac who has made, you know, since we're all this big Sony team, we've licensed the Spider-Man and the this and then that, and you have someone from Insomniac who designed the best puppet you've ever seen, and it even comes with moves, and it's only $2.99, and you can have the right to use it in your Dreams and make a Spider-Man game now." I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Okay, well, Jeepers said, quote, I'm worried about fracturing the community. Arrow, let's start paywalling assets. That I hadn't thought about when he brought it up, but at
I'm
the
not
same
saying it's a good idea.
but at the same time, would it be paywalling assets if you if let's say you made Kratos the main character of your game, but no one else could play the game because they don't have Kratos? Like, I feel like you can still play with other people's assets or play in games with other people's assets even if you don't own them. So, like, I feel like that would be like the easy fix. You just wouldn't have it yourself to alter. But the idea of a professional, like, game developer, like, actually sitting there and being like, you know, I have Kratos, he has these combos, like these weapons that work like that, and you can go in and change the the look of it, like even replace it with a completely other skin of one of your characters, or just be able to look at what they did to create it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily hate the idea outright, is all I'm saying. There's ways that this could be done in which it could be cool for people, because the one thing that I don't dislike about microtransactions, and I'm a person that believes everything has context. It's about how it's used, not that it exists. So the one thing I don't mind about microtransactions is the idea that if it is someone, we talked about this last week too, actually, now that I think about it, is the idea that there are people who literally don't have 8 hours to put in a night to get something done. And so having a way to shortcut that time that allows them to still have fun, not pay to win, okay, that's not what I'm talking about, but like, other things that they can do that kind of shortcuts it for them, I don't see a problem with that. Now, if they do start paywalling certain things like, oh, you can't have multiplayer unless you pay this $5 add-on,
Right.
then I'm like, okay, wait a minute, we thought we knew you, but now you've broken our trust. Like that would be a problem.
Just because I'm having fun going down this road. Another thing that it would kind of solve, or well, not solve, but one thing that I could see them seeing as a benefit is, think about how many people go into Dreams and they're like, okay, let me find my Sonic asset and I'm making a Sonic level. And then there's all these things in Dreams that they can't use to promote Dreams. They can't put it on their streams. They can't put it on the front page. All this work going into creating things in Dreams that doesn't, in the long run, benefit them directly, like as a company. But
not
like
only that.
Yeah, if you had these assets that person who was going to make a Sonic game, now they can make a Ratchet and Clank game, and maybe even make something that can end up on the front page. Maybe that could be a benefit too.
Don't you think that if, let's just say that happened then, and you've got God of War assets, a Ratchet and Clank pack, a Horizon Zero Dawn pack, all these Sony IPs like officially made within Dreams for you to sort of make your own fan-made games with, don't you think that would take away the originality of Dreams and the creativity?
Yeah,
because I think it would kind of spoil Dream Surfing. It's just going to be spammed with God of War remake in Dreams, Dreams Horizon Zero Dawn. It's going to take away all those cool, unique games that people are making because you don't have that.
That's not much different from what already happens.
I mean, I don't.
Wario's and Sonics there already.
Yeah, I don't think it would take away because those other things would still exist. Plus,
the kind of person who's going to do that wasn't going to necessarily make something original anyways. They were just going to make a Sonic.
Yeah, I suppose. But you're just kind of encouraging more of it, though.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't really like the idea of that because I just love the uniqueness of Dreams that, you dream surf and you play one thing and then the next thing you play is just completely different, and there's just so many cool original ideas. I tried to keep all the Sonic and Mario crap to the side, and I don't want nothing to do with it because if you want to play Mario, go play. If you want to play Mario, go play Mario.
Well, yeah, I've never seen a Mario Dream that compared even remotely to actually playing Mario.
And like I've said it before, if you're using a relative character to try and understand how mechanics work to build something, that's completely fine. But if you're literally building a like-for-like Mario remake, you're just wasting your time when you could be making something special. Like, we already have Mario. Give me something else. Give me something fresh.
So,
like, that's what I paid 300 quid for a Switch to play Mario on. I do not need that on Dreams. I want original content.
Like I said before, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their game. That's just my stance on that. If they want to make Mario, make Mario. All I ask is for the necessary search functions able to negate myself from seeing them. That's it. And they've worked on that, and therefore I have no more problem. Like, but I do want to address Bustin' Jeebers, who said we already have Dreamiverse collection of assets for people without time. I agree, and I think that's one of the things that makes Dreams amazing. But at the same time, I would pair that with kind of what someone else said about Dreams Plus being the dev version of Dreams, where it's, you can sell your stuff, where it's kind of like we have those things, but if you had someone, let's say you had like I'm sorry, I'm going blank. The creator from Psychonauts, what's his name? I feel ashamed.
Tim
God.
something?
Uh,
Tim. Just call him Tim.
Yeah, Tim Schafer. There we go. Like
There
if Tim Schafer was like put out a just super quality 2D image from the game that he came out with before, it was telling the story of the kid in space and the little girl in the village, and you got to play both of them. Like, there's something to be said for if you were to get something that was super polished like that, as opposed to as far as like even in a blank dummy form, as opposed to starting with like the deluxe puppet. So like, it's just, I see what you're saying. I definitely see your point, and I understand that there is a danger, but there is a danger with everything. And so it's all about how they use it. So I think there's a way for that to be done and used to benefit the community, and there's a way that could be done that could hurt it. So, but I do like the idea of Dreams Plus being you buy it and you have the licensing to do what you like, to actually sell your stuff. Like that's solid.
I don't think they've had enough time to even contemplate the idea and the black hole that comes with that yet.
I think they have, but I can't tell you why I think that.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll be having a discussion later in private.
I'm sorry, James. If I'm gonna speculate, I might as well make up something fun.
Okay,
go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I mean, yeah, this is why we have the show, so we can come up with these things. But having said that, have we reached the end? Is this where we leave the people?
That was
until next week.
What a way to say it.
Yeah, I know.
Mighty Vision has a wayward
Reach
words.
the end.
He really does.
It will never end. Oh, Lord.
Damn.
We're in for the long run, fellas.
24-hour stream.
Oh, all right. Settle in.
Don't leave us fathers. Oh, my God.
My. Okay.
Well, folks, we're out. That was the end.
We prefer daddy.
or a zaddy with a Z. But yeah, so I mean, once again, you can hit us up on all of our socials. As a matter of fact, Cutaia, give the people your where they can reach you, find you, talk to you. Where can they see you?
I mean, yeah, I guess I am on Twitter. Kill Baron first, and then just mostly on Twitch. I'm on Twitch like all day long, in people's rooms, or most nights I'm streaming at twitch.tv/Cutaia.
Bang.
You can find me in dreams Cutaia _net. I think. Is that it? Is that my? You'll find it. Just look for Cutaia. It's there.
You'll get it.
Just Google it. It'll be fine.
It's not a common name, so if you type Cutaia in somewhere, it's probably me.
Yeah.
Bangerang. And Jamie, is there anything you want to leave the people with?
Look forward to next week. Big guest coming on.
Well, can 1 second here, because I want to make sure. Okay, your camera had stopped for a second, so you were
Oh.
talking, but you weren't moving, and my brain
Oh.
had a moment where I was like, "What's happening?" I thought my settings had just completely just gone off the rail. Just what? If you want to hear Rap with Operating, check out the rap by Lugatti and I that got pick sleep paralysis. We'll do it.
All right. But yeah, make sure you guys go to our Discord, and there is, as Mike Fisher said, there is a section there specifically for questions for Tom Dent. Definitely get your questions in there because we love all the questions that you guys put in for when we had Abby on the show, and it's really cool to be able to relay them back directly when we have the guest on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So make sure you get your questions across.
All right. And with that, it is time to go. Who's online? Tell me who to.
Well, seeming as this was a music-orientated episode,
Sauceless is on.
Yeah, he's streaming.
Right. There we go.
Sauceless does some very interesting streams.
So yeah.
Oh, I love Sauceless.
All right. Well, we are going to send over to Sauceless then. And thank you, everybody, for joining. I really appreciated all the great comments and chat, as well as Cutaia. Thank you for coming through. I hope you had fun. I hope I didn't bore you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Fantastic.
It's a really cool episode.
All right. Well, with that, we'll catch you next week. Later.
See ya.